Good afternoon, Brett Sutton, Chief Health Officer. My key message is really that heat also kills. Obviously there's a fire danger, which is something to be aware of, but heat is absolutely a killer as well. In 2009 there were an estimated 374 excess deaths from heatwave. We haven't got those same heatwave conditions, but there are still extreme heat alerts for much of the state, including for today. So Mallee, Northern Country, North Central, North East and Wimmera all have heat health alerts for today. For tomorrow, most of that arc in the north also has heat health alerts, but East Gippsland has a heat health alert for tomorrow as well. Wimmera does not, and Central, including Melbourne, is very close. Obviously a very hot day, but there's relief overnight, so that's the only reason why it doesn't have a heat health alert as well. That said, most of the state will experience the potential danger of those extreme temperatures. The vulnerable individuals are those over 65. They make up more than 80% of deaths from heatwave conditions. Pregnant and breastfeeding mothers, babies and very young children, those with pre-existing medical conditions such as diabetes and heart disease, and people on certain medications. The disabled can also sometimes suffer increased effects of heat, as well as those who are obese. So if you know of vulnerable people, look out for them. Make sure you check in by phone, by SMS, or if they're neighbours, touch base with them face to face. Because a lot of people are socially isolated or live alone, and it's a very useful exercise to make sure that they're travelling okay. For anyone through today and tomorrow, make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure that you get in a cool place. So use your air conditioning, use your fan. If you haven't got those, draw the curtains, draw your awnings at home, and when that cool change comes through on the Friday evening, Saturday morning, open the doors up and let the heat out, because homes can really retain a lot of heat, and you don't want to suffer the additional burden of heat in the home through the Saturday night. Friday night into Saturday. Never put kids, adults, pets in hot cars. The temperature can double in minutes and be absolutely deadly within a very short period of time. And then make plans. So if you've got scheduled events in the heat of today or tomorrow, and you can cancel them, cancel them. If you can move them to a cooler part of the day, do that. And if you can make arrangements to be in a cooler place for the heat of the day, and you haven't got air conditioning at home, go to a library, go to a shopping centre, whatever's required. Those are the key messages from me. The main one, really, be aware that it's deadly and checking on those who are most vulnerable.
Brett, just while you're still there, when you're saying about kids in cars, obviously that's important every day, but how important does it become when we're talking about a 42-degree day?
It's absolutely critical. It will only take 10-20 minutes for temperatures to be potentially deadly, and when the car doors are closed and the windows are up, it's literally a matter of minutes before children, the vulnerable, can become unconscious. Obviously you never leave kids deliberately in cars. People forget, so be aware of who's in the back seat. But also kids can lock themselves in, and a lot of the ambulance call-outs are for opening vehicles. But just bear it in mind and be aware that it's only a matter of minutes. If you see anyone in a car, make sure that you're calling to break into that car, whether it's MFB or ambulance, to make sure that they're safe.
And Brett, you mentioned the risk of thunderstorms. Is there also a risk of thunderstorm asthma conditions?
No, we're actually beyond the season of risk for thunderstorm asthma. Effectively, it's a high risk in November. There's ongoing monitoring through December, but December 31, we're happy that there's not a risk of thunderstorm asthma.
Any local hospitals, are they primed for potentially more heat-related admissions?
Yeah, of course they are. So Ambulance Victoria, Justin Dunlop is our State Controller for Heat. He's obviously keeping an eye on what the presentations to emergency departments will do. An ambulance can ramp up their surge capacity. They can certainly see the effects from today to see whether they need to ramp up tomorrow.
Does anything comparable, because you mentioned not the deaths in 2009, heat-related deaths, and someone else mentioned that this will be the hottest since 2016. Do you have any stats on 2016 and heat-related issues?
We don't, but 2009 had 4 days of consecutive heat, so that was a really extreme period. There have been comparable 4 days of consecutive heat where we haven't had as many deaths. I think we do communication and awareness much better than since 2009. But there will be scores of people who have cardiac arrests or who present in a really severe state by ambulance. We know that much, including people who are found deceased at home. So there will be over the course of a summer potentially dozens of people who will die by virtue of the heat. So nothing to set aside as something only for other people. You need to think of yourself as being vulnerable.